strings. Are we getting all the output because do you have to have the three outputs? I wonder.
I think it's so that you can plug it into 3 different amps.
Yeah. But is it each pickup goes to a different...
They're all on now.
They're all
All
on.
the pickups are on.
And they're all coming out that one hole.
Yeah.
You know what it might be nice for? You know the...
That's it clean. That's it super clean.
Right. Well, there's still effects on it. There's still shit going on, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, it's not distorted yet.
Right. You know the...
Am I done?
You know, the recording process of the album, very straightforward. It was very workmanlike. We were recording in the studio and it's kind of in an industrial state in the middle of nowhere, so there weren't any distractions. And we just kind of really got our heads down, just worked really hard. And managed to record, I think it was 18 songs over the period of 2 months. So it was a very, very productive time.
It was one of the funnest experiences I've ever had recording music, you know. I've had some great times before, but with this was just like writing it and recording it. It was, like I said earlier, it was just really fun, you know. It was not to say that it didn't have its hard times, because obviously, you know, you go through those little rough patches. But I think it was really great for me because within this year that we spent together, you know, writing it and recording and everything, it was like each day it was like I would grow like a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, find out more about myself and mature a bit and everything. The process of all of it has been really, definitely life-changing and lovely at the same time. And like I said, it's been one of the funnest times I've ever had in the studio. And yeah, I'm just really, really psyched about everything that's happened. I wouldn't change a thing, that's for sure.
Stephen Forrest.
All right, Stefan. You better pay attention, because this is the last time I'm going to show you how to do this, okay? Now, what you want to do is line yourself up and then just shoot it. That's all you got to do. It's not that difficult.
You'll improve your life techniques.
Do it like a man and scratch.
I mean, it took a while to get used to being away from home. You know, that was the one big thing, and you know, living in a hotel room. But once we got into making the record, it was pretty smooth running. It's important not to choke songs or to squeeze the life out of them. You know, they have to keep. You have to keep the initial kind of vibe that you had when you wrote it. You know, even into the recording stage. And David was very good at sort of just gauging the mood of the band, and you know, if one of us was kind of struggling, you know, getting a part down, then we'd just move on.
I think my head was pretty much where it usually is, and that I always feel like there is so much room for improvement. I think the day that I don't start to feel that then it's time to give up, or to stop, or to take, like, you know, a really long vacation. So really, my main focus was just to try stretch my abilities as a singer and a guitarist as far as I possibly could, as far as humanly was possible within this body.
I think this record definitely had there's more hope, there's more passion. It was almost like we'd found our old way of working together, you know, because the band started with me and Brian back in '93, and you know, in its front room in a council flat, and it kind of felt that we've got what came back to that working relationship where it was very open, and there was the egos were left at the door, and it was a much more open discussion about what we wanted the songs to be.
We're late starting.
Where's my goddamn latte? Let's see if it picks up the spray.
Why have we chosen to put horns on this record? Well, we kind of, since we use strings on Meds, we started asking ourselves the question, well, what do you do after you use strings? Well, you use a horn section. You know, we just kind of really wanted to, you know, to explore a musical avenue that we hadn't before. And we also, I think, wanted to do something which would surprise a lot of people, which people wouldn't necessarily associate with this band.
Obviously very exciting for us, you know, just to sit and other people play, you know, on our record. We, both us and David, came on the idea of using horns more in a sense of texturing them with guitars, you know, not to use them in necessarily quite obvious fanfare kind of arrangement. So it was also something new, a new sonic palette for us to play with. We made the record without a record company. It was self-funded and done on our own time and completely on our own terms. And it was a freedom that we welcomed after such a long contract with a major label.
As far as the decisions that we made in terms of making the record, i.e. making it without a record company, is very, very much reflected by, you know, the state of the music business today. Of course, we were in the luxurious position of being able to fund the record ourselves without a record company, which a lot of bands aren't. So we took that choice because essentially it would give us just 100% creative freedom.
We weren't really concerned about how it was going to be put out, you know, we're just rejoicing, you know, the freedom.
We weren't really ready to commit ourselves to another record company or record companies when we were ready to go into the studio. You know, in a very similar way to somebody who makes an independent film, you know, we chose to, you know, sort of make it ourselves and then tout it about, essentially. But, and I think it was a wise decision because it sort of put us in a much more enviable position, really.
The industry is changing, you know, you got to move with the times. And I think in a way that the control is reverting back more to the artists. The industry is in a bit of a slump, so we just wanted to more carefully pick and choose how our records were going to be released.
Sure. I've been told to reinforce the point emphatically that you have to be extremely quiet. The voice of God has spoken.
Ooh, brown love.
God is bold. Right, okay, what are we doing again? Okay.
What we've done now is we've gone with a smaller label and also a contract that doesn't run for such a long period of time because it kind of left us with a little bit of a bitter taste in our mouths, you know, just to be part of such a huge corporation where a contract is a contract and it's hard to get out of, you know, it's a bit shackling, you know.